Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. Today is Wednesday. We've got a lot to talk about today. Big movement from Bitcoin at last. Honestly, we're the same price we were a couple days ago at our best. But the good news is that I can say with a high degree of confidence that yeah, it seems like the trend is indeed flipping over in our favor now. Two major things have happened with Bitcoin. Super trend has flipped into the green. Downtrend line is practically broken at this point, and we have reached our target resistance, about 94,000. 93,824 is what we had targeted from our resistance 1 from pivot levels. We completed the chart pattern that I did expect, so this indeed did play out according to plan. I love how I'm just talking and not even moving charts around. I mean, do you guys even look at the screen? But whatever. This is basically what I was projecting for a while, our upward channel and then our downward movement. I was expecting the drop to be a little more significant, but I mean, this was enough to spook out a lot of people from the markets either way. After hitting a low point of whatever this was, 83,782. From there we managed to bounce back up and continue our normal pattern. Henceforth, I will remove this. And I think it's safe to say we can delete this downtrend line now that we have confirmed that, yes, we are in an uptrend, at least in the 4-hour chart. Weekly chart, that's another subject on its own. It could be the start of something bigger. We don't know for sure. I could say that I have always been saying that everything that is happening right now in the news, macroeconomic factors, in my opinion, for crypto related specifically, is bullish. It still remains bullish, and that is why I never understood why we were dropping. We understand now. It was the big banks, and boy are those big banks taking advantage of this now that they seem to have flipped bullish once again. So everything is back in our favor. We can continue rising from here. Alts are making huge recoveries. Yesterday and today, we'll be going over the relevant ones. And yeah, I think should be a good one for tonight. We will also be talking about a special meeting that was held between US officials and Russia. Some comments on Ukraine, a bit of corruption still going on over there, which nothing new. I missed one article, dude. I could pull it up later. Remind me, Canada, when we talk about Ukraine. There's that, and then there is this Franklin meme going around. If you don't know Franklin, well, it's a proud Canadian child's book about what is it, a turtle? An animated little turtle made for kids, but we have gone ahead and made it into a meme, so there we go. We'll be talking more about that. It's pretty funny, pretty cute. What else will we be talking about? The Fusaka upgrade on Ethereum. That is apparently already live, and Ethereum is mooning because of it. Here we are. Oh my. Against all odds, hey. 3,207 is the current price of Ethereum, when just a couple days ago we were looking at 2,800. Did I say we were dropping to 2,600? Well, yeah, I was hoping we wouldn't. I guess that was our local bottom, and I didn't want to see us make a double hit on the support, right? If you know what I'm saying. But the only good news that I saw from all of this, like the only hope that I could have seen, is that, yeah, this could have been the start of something bigger, because we were looking at this drop happening live on the 1st of December, 2 days ago when I last streamed on Monday. Yesterday I didn't stream. I was supposed to be busy, and I was supposed to start working and other stuff that I take care of in the evenings. But I actually got sick. Out of nowhere. It was so weird. Yesterday morning, I woke up. I was supposed to immediately head to work. My first day at a new temporary job. I'm not going to be there for too long, maybe a week or two. And like I woke up, I had this really bad headache, and I was like, oh, it's probably nothing. It was 5 a.m. I'm like, this is way too early. My shift starts at 7:30, dude. I'll just take some Tylenol, or Advil rather, and rest for a while longer. And then I started feeling nauseous. I felt like I wanted to throw up, and then I my stomach started hurting, and then I started feeling these chills. I'm like, dude, I've got a fever. What the hell is going on? And yeah, it was not good, not pleasant. And I took 2 pills, didn't help me. It was already like 7 something, and I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm not gonna make it to the shift. I'm done. I gotta stay in bed or something. So I stood in bed, gave the manager a phone call. I'm like, hey, look, I know it's crazy and it's my first day and all that, but really, like, I'm so like in pain, I cannot go. She was like, oh yeah, and so it was fine. She was like, it's fine, just I need you to like guarantee that you will come tomorrow, because otherwise I'm gonna have to find somebody else to, you know, take over the whole shift thing, right? And I'm like, no, don't worry, I'll definitely be better by tomorrow. Weird thing for me to, like, at that time, after I hung up from that phone call, I was like, was that the right thing to say, that I was gonna guarantee that the next day I would be fine? Hey, luckily the next day, so today, I was fine. I was perfectly fine. So I went to work, and it was pretty good. Technically first day, supposed to be the second day. But yeah, here we are. Like I said, it's going to be temporary, and my shift ends at 4:30, so there will be no conflict, like I said, for streaming. The only issue is, yeah, it's going to take up my morning routine, which my morning routine is when I look at the markets on my own, analyze other people's... What do I talk... Yeah, oh my gosh. You know what? I watch other videos too. I see what other analysts are saying. I look at the news myself. If Trump speaks, I will look at that. Things like that. I don't know. Or just doom scroll Twitter, whatever it is. And maybe do some trading on my own when it comes to stocks. But this time around, no money, so what are you going to do? Sell at a loss? Everything is down for stocks from where I bought. And that I've even been DCAing, but it's clearly not enough. I'm still in the red for most of my positions. So yeah, not much I could do there, so I'm gonna leave that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, where can we relax with Ethereum? I think the movement is kind of ending here. We're at 74 with the RSI. We could slow down at 3,284. I'm used to Ethereum I'm used to feeling bearish on Ethereum, but here we are, just rising like crazy. Okay. 3,212 is the current price, so we can reach 3,284 before we see a potential rebound, right? We got resistance there, we got a downtrend line there. Unless we like delay at the top for a while and just naturally break through, that would be the optimal movement. What is even happening this week? December 5, something was supposed to happen. PCE. Tomorrow should be chill. Friday should be a pretty volatile day. The last big inflation reading that we will be getting, which the Fed does prefer, and may or may not hurt our chances for seeing a rate cut in December, the week after, on Wednesday, December 10. Is that right? I'm sure it's right. Okay, I'll trust my instincts on this one. So that's what we can expect in terms of volatility. But for now, hey, if things are going fine, they should continue going fine. We do have the trend flipped in the green for us as well. So that is why this is also the start of something bigger. Uptrend invalidates 2,829 and rising, so subject to change. We got to see where it stabilizes to. I didn't fully finish talking about Bitcoin here, did I? So yeah, the same deal, starting a new uptrend from here to that low point. Can I get rid of this? Thank you. And it invalidates at, we'll say 86,000. It looks like it's trying to point up to that point. The uptrend would invalidate at 86,000. If we do see a retracement, now with good confidence, I could say, yeah, it's probably a good idea to enter. Not financial advice, but, you know, if we see Supertrend kind of behave like this, and then, you know, price makes some retracement like that, that would probably be a good area to enter, about 86,000 something, if it ever does retrace that low. If not, sure, take us to 100,000. Do it, man. You liquidated my positions, and now you want to rise as if nothing happened. Sure, go be my guest, but hey, we'll see. Not necessarily overbought for Bitcoin quite yet, so it wouldn't surprise me if we do continue seeing it rise either way. 97,000 is your next target, where we would meet up with this downtrend line. I don't think we're going to immediately shoot up to 100,000. That would be mathematically impossible, right? No, it can happen, but not very probable at this time of the night. So we can delay it for a while. I'd give it a natural rise by tomorrow for 97,000 if that is the bull case. If not, we're dropping to 89,500, and yeah, potential bounce for the better of Bitcoin. It's required, right? We want healthy rises, and I mean, even still, like I said, bullish momentum can continue, so I'm still aiming for this to go upwards. I like it. Moving on to Solana, up 4% today, almost. We hit 145. It's telling us an early sign that we have indeed flipped the trend over. I wouldn't say that quite yet. We kind of like bounced from the line itself. Our highest today was 146.87 for Solana. About to be overbought too. I think we do have the strength. We can definitely push up to 150. We can definitely do it. Uptrend, I'm not even going to mention where it invalidates from, but it's currently showing me 126.50, which can continue rising. So depends on whatever happens tonight. If it stabilizes here, then yes, this is indeed our support at 126. So keep that in mind. Moving on to Sui. Sui had a beautiful movement at last, breaking out. Deserved breakout, by the way. I wanted to see this for a long time. Is it good enough? Not quite. What was this 171 from? I think this was our like all-time low from way before. Not all-time low, of course, because we've been rising since less than $1 for Sui, but you know, after we retraced, I'm assuming this is April 7. Like, come on, give me a number. No, not even April 7 was this bad. No, this is June. No, it was April 7. Okay. So that was the low of April 7, which we have finally met up with again. Can you believe that Sui is currently doing worse than what we were at in April 7? April 7 was pretty terrible. We were about to bomb Iran or something. No, that was in June, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, we were announcing lots of tariffs and altcoins sold off like crazy. And now that fundamentals are stronger than ever, we're just going to go ahead and sell off more, and there is no tariffs. Nobody cares. We're just going to keep dropping, right? Made no sense. Really stupid. And this October 10 crash, I'm going to beat this to death. 57 cents. Give me a break. But yeah, hey, at least we started rising again. Became overbought, so we slowed down at around 175. Our highest was 179. And then we have retraced down to basically 162. We have since then recovered a little bit, and we are at 169 currently. 171 is where that... I think we could just round this to 170, really, which is where we are hovering at right now. Uptrend is in our favor at last. We can get rid of this joke of a downtrend line. And now focus on the bigger thing, which is this one right over here. That would mean your resistance is about 190. I think that's a little too high, but we might see some correction with Sui. Or just, I don't know, don't even be surprised with it, because Sui, it can make its big movements, whether that be to the upside or to the downside. It does like 20% movements in a day. We've seen it happen. Literally here, what even is this movement? About a 35% from its bottom to top. Even more, I didn't measure it properly, but, you know. Good stuff for Sui, and that's why I like it. The volatility. Not good for holding, but good for trading, if you know what I'm saying. Like, use a stop loss, use a take profit, do it properly. Risk management. Yeah. How are my positions doing? Not good. Despite these huge rises, I'm still like halfway through losing these. At least I'm not like... It felt like inches away from getting liquidated. You know, that fear is kind of gone out the window. I sold off Compound, I said in break-even territory. Now I bet Compound is rising even harder. No, we're kind of neutral here. I sold at an appropriate time. Dude, you're fine. Alright, moving on. Chainlink. We are mooning right now, non-stop. 77 RSI. Seems like we may just slow down over here. 1482 is where that resistance is. We're at 1480 right now with Chainlink. To think that we were at $11 just a couple days ago just shows how fast these things can move when they really want to. Full green candle is only this little red candle. But yeah, crazy movement. In 4 hours, we did an 8% movement on Chainlink. That is... I mean, we've seen it before, but to the downside, to see it happen toward the upside is pretty neat. From bottom to top, that's a 25% rise. On a huge asset like Chainlink, that's pretty darn good. And uptrend is just sharply rising over here. Downtrend line gone at last. That's the thing that I saw with a lot of these, is that when we became oversold on November 21st, I think I kind of skipped over this. I just forgot to talk about it. November 21st, oversold. Okay, beautiful. Nice. Nobody likes that. And then we do our rise, and then we start dropping again on December 1st, okay? So from November 21st to December 1st, we didn't make a lower low on Chainlink, on Bitcoin, on every other asset. Most assets, at least the ones that I review. Except Aptos. Aptos is just a whole different story. But every asset basically generally did the exact same thing. We made a lowest point November 21st. We did our rise. And then we hit a second low on December 1st. But it wasn't lower than the previous low. And we were still oversold. That is a sign of a trend reversal. Early would not have been able to do that. And I really didn't want to double down on these assets either way. It was either, you know, recover, rise, do your thing, have an alt season, or just, you know, liquidate me, get it over with. Let's start fresh, let's start new, and I want to do my, you know, strategy trading thing. I might just go back to doing whatever I was doing in the past, honestly, at this point. But it's not safe to do so, even still, because the weekly trend, it's no longer in our favor. And it's going to take a while for that to change. By then, maybe it would be too late. I don't know. It's probably better to play it safe, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to leave it at. Negative funding rates, by the way, for Chainlink, for Sui, and for... that's pretty much it, huh? And for Aptos, if you care. Okay, sorry. Moving to Hyperliquid. We're about to flip our trend over at last. Seems like a support level would just be taken down to here. Okay, well, Hyperliquid's another exception to this, I guess. We did make a lower low on December 1st. But still not as oversold. I mean, I don't know. It looked like the downward pressure was greater on Hyperliquid, which explains why right now, this current candle is the valid candle that would flip the trend over. It seems like it's a bit late to the party, Hyperliquid, but in fairness, it's been holding pretty strong. Except for these random 2 drops that I remember. Is like, why are we even dropping with Hyperliquid? Made no sense. I'm going to keep this downtrend line drawn over here for the time being until we get confirmation that this does indeed close and flip our trend over into the green, right? Current price is 35.94. We could still continue rising too. How high? Good question. I don't know. I'd put it above 37 for sure. I can't give you an exact number though. Like my brain wants to tell you 39 to 40 basically as a resistance because it's, you know, this next psychological area. But I think that's a bit too much of a stretch. Who knows, dude? We've made this move. How big is this? 21% move from bottom to top. I don't know. I think we could just take a breather from here, honestly. Rise a little more, like I said, to maybe 37. And then start, you know, correcting maybe around 33 before we make our next leg up. Because we do need another, like, accumulation low before we can draw a decent uptrend line that the super trend will follow, right? Something like this is what I'm expecting for Hyperliquid. So I think it's going to be late to the party. Still good project nonetheless. I don't disagree with that. But it just seems to be lagging behind the rest. That's not a bad thing. It's just late to the party. No big deal. BitTensor. Same situation, I guess. Trying to break above 300. 298 is the current price. Negative funding rate. Did I say negative funding rate for BitTensor? I hope I did. Up 7% though. That's not too bad. I still need it to rise. How much? How much is this? Another 18%. Dude, it's going to take a long time. Halving is happening for BitTensor this month, right? When is Tau halving? Why is my... Okay, I cannot spell. It's happening in December 2025. Thank you. Yeah, but which day? 10, 12, 3 full trading days left. What? What are you talking about? Dude, who cares? Okay, it's happening in December. That's all you should care about. And it's not going to be like immediate effect. I think this was already priced in whenever people actually realized that around over here we were having huge talks about BitTensor with, what even was it? The ETPs, Grayscale Trust Fund, and BitTensor having. Like, that was all part of this rising momentum when we hit the 539 high. But since then, we've just been decaying lower and lower. Luckily, not as bad as to hit my liquidation price. And I did not reinforce it, but I did have good entries on BitTensor nonetheless. I just ran out of money to continue buying. I know I have some now, but it's like, I'm not going to buy when everything is green. You'd be crazy to think that. Because when things go red, they go really red, okay? And I think I'd rather buy at those times, when there's blood on the streets. That's all I have to say about BitTensor. Aptos is, yeah, pathetic rise, but whatever. I guess it's a start. 1%, $2.02. We got to break 210 to see something good. It's just so disappointing, Aptos. My gosh, what are we gonna do with you? What do I do? Do I just give it up for adoption? Do I just abandon it? Whatever. We'll let it do its thing. I'm sure it's just a phase, isn't it? Okay, well, there you go. Bitcoin still on its way up. We started at about 93,000, I think 100, something like that. We're at 93,780. So, yep, started something bigger. That's what I feel about for all this. Okay. 21-minute analysis done. Let's go ahead and get into the news because we do have some good stuff to talk about. First of all, okay, this was announced by Trump yesterday. It was the big announcement that he was alluding to at 2 p.m. He was going to announce something big. Well, first of all, before that, there was just a cabinet meeting where he just went off on the immigrants after falling asleep to everybody else glazing him around. It was just like, I don't know why I watched the whole thing. I just had nothing better to do yesterday, just look at it, and yeah, it was all just like, oh, Trump is the best, we're doing great stuff, guys, yeah, which I'm sure they are, sure, whatever, okay. But then this one happened where Trump announced the stuff that we've been already discussing. This is yesterday's news today, right? Tens of millions of children will be receiving up to $1,000 each, funded by a donation from billionaire Michael Dell and seed money from the Trump admin. Michael Dell, obviously, yes, this is the creator of the Dell computer that you are watching me on, and he will be helping to contribute to all this. He's donated $6.25 billion towards the effort. How many kids is that? If you could buy a kid for $1,000, I think that's what we're doing here. $6,250,000,000. It's that divided by, if each kid gets $1,000, that's 6,002,500. Okay, it's this number of kids, 6,250,000 kids, which is not bad. As soon as you're born, you get $1,000 put into an investment account where at the age of 18, you will gain access to that account, which has been invested in the S&P 500 since birth, and will ideally have multiplied in that time, right? Surely the S&P 500 goes up a couple of percentages in 18 years throughout that child's lifetime. Dell's donation will cover children under 10. Wait, so we're going into effect now, even retroactively? I thought it was only from 2025 onward. Whatever. In zip codes with an average income of $150,000 or less. Okay, so it's if you're broke. No, not 150K is decent wage, but whatever. If you're middle to low class, I guess, your kid is getting $1,000 and it will be invested. Why not put it into crypto, please? That would have been a better cause, but hey, I guess that's me being greedy. I don't invest in the S&P 500. It's too slow, man. We gotta outpace it. And I have outpaced it. And then I'm back to square one. So, hey, who knows? Maybe I was better off investing in the S&P 500. And in fairness, it's been hitting all-time highs when Bitcoin's just been capitulating. So, hey, whatever. They're called Trump accounts, and it's going to be a permanent thing for a while. Great, permanent thing for a while, I know, right? It will begin on America's 250th birthday on July 4th, 2026. Okay, I thought this was being implemented immediately, and it was going to retroactively be applied to children born since January 1st, 2025 onwards. I thought that was the deal, but whatever. Here's the Dell family. The wife is, everybody's pointing out Dell's wife is a bit spooky. I don't know. I'm not going to comment further, but whatever. You make your own judgments. I'm sure she's a wonderful lady, okay? I love her eyes. You know what? There you go. $6.25 billion. 25 million children. That is not what I calculated. I calculated 6 million. Oh, he's only giving 250 each? Okay, well, if you do it that way, divide this by 4. Where's my math wrong? $250? Okay, if each kid is getting $1,000, divide that into 4, that's 250. Am I wrong? That's right. Why doesn't this math work? You know what? Forget it. Just accept the fact, okay? I cannot do math. Michael Dell knows what he's doing. Susan and I believe the smartest investment we can make is in children. Sure, they are the future, whether we like it or not. That is why we're excited to contribute $6.25 billion from our charitable funds to help 25 million children start building a strong financial foundation through Invest America. I thought it was called Trump Account. Hold on. What are we doing here? Yeah, it is 6.25 billion. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing a 0. Who cares? But there's that. We're giving the money, which is awesome. Is it multiplied by 4? No, I think that's... Hold on. Let me get back my original number. Multiplied by 4. Oh, you're right. That is 25 million. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that does make sense, actually, in retrospect. Good. Thank you so much, Harley. You're awesome. Great. So that's where the number came from. Okay. Russia-Ukraine. Here we go. We had Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the two... What do we call these guys? They're like the enforcers of peace or something. They're going to like Israel to make sure that they're not breaking the ceasefire deal. They're going to Russia to make sure that they sign a peace deal with Ukraine or get started with it at least, because everything keeps getting proposed and rejected. But, you know, everybody's pointing fingers. We have people to blame, so we're going to go through it and what people think about it. They've arrived in Moscow for direct peace talks on Ukraine with Vladimir Putin. The U.S. delegation is now headed to the Kremlin, which is like the White House of Russia. Here's the results of it. Putin's talks with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner in the Kremlin ended after 5 hours with no compromise reached. Hooray, it was all for nothing. Putin's aide, Yuri Ushakov, summed up the meeting saying that no compromises have been found so far, and a meeting between the Russian and U.S. leaders is not planned at this moment. Okay, so there's no future plans to discuss this. According to him, the specific wording of the U.S. peace plan was not discussed at Putin's meeting with Witkoff. Moscow received 4 additional documents beyond Trump's original peace plan, Ushakov said. The talks also touched on the future of economic cooperation between Russia and the United States. Ushakov declined to provide further details, noting that both sides agreed not to disclose the substance of the negotiations. While being secretive, are we? Trump also mentioned some comments on Putin. Well, hold on, what is this? They're basically saying that Europe, this is another thing that Russia's blaming now. It's no longer that Ukraine is incompetent, it is now that Europe is stepping in the way. They're like this weird third party that is getting involved in the peace talks, and we don't want them to get involved in the peace talks because they're just ruining everything. And to their credit, they were major proponents in meeting up with Ukraine to modify the 28-point peace plan, which ended up being complete garbage. Even I went through it and I was like, dude, Russia's just not going to accept this. And that was right. So, seems like they were accusing Europe. Russia is accusing Europe, the European Union, of them working together to influence or derail the American plan. Even a Chinese military blogger says this. Okay. Trump says that Zelensky has a lot of things against him right now. The US president called Moscow talks reasonably good, but the results remain uncertain. Well, nothing really came of it as we went through it. Trump clarified that the US does not fund Ukraine's military. They're selling weapons at a full price to NATO members. Ukraine is not NATO. Whatever. So there's that. I closed my trading platform. And here's Putin's comments on all of it. He warns that Russia is ready to go to war with all of Europe if that's the path the European leaders choose. He insists Moscow has no intention of starting a war, but says that if Europe ignites it, Russia will be the one to finish it. The reason why Europe is getting involved in all of this is because they do want Ukraine to basically win the war, right? They feel that that Russia will be this big threat if they declare Russia the victor of the war in Ukraine, which, I mean, if they're willing to attack a sovereign nation, maybe they're just going to keep expanding and go through the rest of Europe. I'm sure Europe has other problems to deal with and not Russia, but hey, who am I to decide? And then Putin's like, yeah, you guys are just basically ruining the whole deal. War generates money. You guys just want the war to continue. And we already see how corrupt Ukrainian officials were. We already had some of them arrested. What did that guy do? Did he self-report or something? I don't remember exactly, but he basically got caught as Zelensky's right-hand man, using the money to just, I don't know what people do with money. He has that facing Europe would be nothing like fighting Ukraine. He's calling it as a showdown that would erase any hope of future negotiations. So basically like warning them, typical Russian activity, right? He says that Russia is ready if Europe wants a war, claims that the European governments have no peaceful agenda. He warns he may cut Ukraine off from the sea if attacks continue, and also says that Europe's only goal is to prevent US President Trump from achieving peace through negotiations. I agree with it. The 28-point peace plan was a decent plan, in my opinion. Sure, there could have been some modifications, but overall it was pretty decent in ending the war. But Europe gets involved, convinces Ukraine, like, no, this is not good for you. Otherwise you lose, and you don't want to lose, right? Especially when it comes to money. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But yeah, that's clearly the case over here. Europe is getting in the way. That's all we have about it. Apparently, well, he's been ordered to resign. A member of parliament. It's not like a genuine thing that Zelensky will resign, but he's seriously considering it. We're hearing rumors that the guy might just flee the country. He's not in a good spot, which is also another comment that Trump just said, that we went out. Forced out in handcuffs if he refuses. Ukrainian member of parliament Artem Dmitriuk has just dropped a political bombshell on his Telegram channel. Oh, on Telegram, of course. Vladimir Zelensky has been ordered to leave the presidency within days. Dmitruk says Zelensky may refuse to comply. He is expected to stall for time and invent excuses. It seems like he has been, by prolonging the war. If the war does continue, he is going to stay in power. The 28-point peace plan involved he has to call an election, yes or yes, in 100 days. And obviously he's not popular there. Probably going to get voted out. But the war will also be ending because the rest of the 28 points will be fulfilled. But that's why they changed it. And that's why Russia does not agree with it anymore. If he resists, he may have to be forced out in handcuffs. Okay, well, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Arresting their own president, impeaching them. This comes during the worst internal crisis of Zelensky's government since the start of the war. We had senior officials dismissed, replacements blocked, parliament paralyzed, budget for 2026 is unable to pass. Western support is collapsing, as we have seen. The final blow, we have also, well, Washington have officially accused Zelensky's regime of stealing U.S. taxpayer money. Yeah, that's, none of it is looking good for Ukraine. Message behind the scene is unmistakable. Zelensky's time is up. The internal power struggle is exploding into the open. The West is withdrawing political cover, and the Ukrainian establishment is preparing for a post-Zelensky era. Oh boy. The fall may not be orderly, it may not be peaceful, but according to Dmitruk, the inevitable is coming. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Zelensky, what he decides to do. And here's just more about it. Former European Union Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini, she got arrested for fraud charges. Typical. They do this. So, yeah. Moving on to bigger things. The United States, immigration, deportation, that stuff is still kind of happening. Secretary Kristi Noem met with the president, says that she is recommending a full travel ban on every damn country that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. Forefathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom, not foreign invaders to slaughter our heroes, suck dry our hard-earned tax dollars, or snatch the benefits owed to Americans. We don't want them, not one. Well, I don't know if the deportations numbers are up, but it seems like it's still pretty low. I don't know. And we did, like, this comes after Trump went on this crazy rant on Thanksgiving. It was like the Thanksgiving dinner burst out of frustration, that one political uncle or something. And yeah, it's basically they're going to pause immigration from third world countries, not even the most important ones, by the way, but still third world countries. They seem like nothing countries in my opinion, but yeah. And he went on this rant on Somalia when he was in that meeting before he discussed the Trump accounts, right? Yeah, stuff like that. Being very, very angry. And this all, what sparked all of this, what radicalized Trump's brain again, or reignited it, was that Afghan shooter when he shot two National Guardsmen at Washington, D.C., near the Capitol. So, yeah. He's not happy. Okay, moving on. Crypto-related stuff. Well, not really. Well, yeah, kind of. We're getting there. Don't worry. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says that he aims to boost IPO activity by easing rules for small firms. This means that more small businesses or new businesses will like to be released on the stock exchange, to be listed on the stock exchange. She's making that process smoother and faster, which seems to be what they have been pushing for, especially when it comes to things like Bitcoin. I mean, not Bitcoin, but crypto ETFs. They did go make that blueprint. It took them a long time of delaying and pushing ETFs all the way until the end of this year with the excuse of, yeah, we're going to make ETF approvals be smoother, faster. Just follow this blueprint and you'll be automatically approved. You don't have to go through these long sessions for this endless list of crypto ETFs that you guys are proposing for us. Just, you know, as long as you meet these rules, you're free to list the crypto ETF, whatever it is. And we've been waiting for that all year. It's finally happening now. We're getting lots of ETFs getting approved, etc. How can you be bearish? But anyway, he also wants to reduce the compliance burden on smaller companies. Yeah, so also helping the new smaller companies with their IPOs, right? Another thing that they're doing is cracking down on highly leveraged ETFs amid the recent surge in market volatility, because I'm sure they've noticed the markets are a little too volatile. People are making and losing a lot of money a little too fast. So they just issued multiple warning letters to ETF providers, effectively blocking the introduction of 3x to 5x leveraged ETFs. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a 5x leveraged ETF. I've seen 3x, and those are pretty crazy, especially when they go to the downside and they just get infinitely, like, cheaper. You know which ones I'm talking about. The natural gas one, the one that screwed me over the most. But anyway, we write to express concern regarding the registration of ETFs that seek to provide more than 200% or 2x leveraged exposure to underlying indices or securities, the SEC wrote. Leverage is clearly out of control. Hey, I'll be the judge of that. Let me use leverage to my advantage, if I so desire. What else is the SEC doing? They're expecting crypto exemption in a month or so. Hey, come on. I mean, the government shutdown didn't help. Fine, I'll cut you some slack. Paul Atkins also says that he expects the agency's innovation exemption for cryptocurrencies to be released in a month or so. I think we're talking about the Clarity Act here. He noted that progress was delayed by the government shutdown, yeah, haha, but confirmed that the SEC is back on track and aims to support crypto innovation after years of resistance. And then the IPO stuff that we talked about. Okay. Yeah, we'll see, man. A lot of stuff from this guy. He also says that the Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill and a crypto innovation exemption is coming soon. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure this is the Clarity Act stuff that we've been waiting for. And now I can't wait to talk about this. The Franklin meme. Okay, first of all, Cynthia Loomis, who is also working hard, I think, on trying to get the government to buy more Bitcoin to add to their reserves, or find a budget neutral way to add more Bitcoin to their reserves. And so far, the only way is seizing assets, taking them from criminals and just dropping them into the bank. I mean, the reserve, not a bank. But anyways, she posted this image saying, big things coming for Franklin. The post reads, Franklin buys Bitcoin and finds financial freedom. This is the turtle cartoon character for kids that I've been talking about. I think it's based from Canada. So it's pretty cool to see it just becoming a meme now. But yeah, there you go. The meme is that this is basically supposed to be a storybook for kids. And it's always like Franklin, I don't know, goes to school, or Franklin makes new friends. I don't know, I'm making up random examples. I remember reading these stories, though, when I was in kindergarten. So, huge throwback. And there he is with the laser eyes. Franklin buys Bitcoin and finds financial freedom. Yeah, cool. And then there's more. And the Kids Can Press, they actually got pretty upset about this and released a statement, because we're seeing lots of meme posts like this. Franklin grows tired of immigrants and their behavior. Pretty sensitive topic when it comes to, especially Trump going on a anti-Somalian rant. So that's pretty funny. They posted this, the Kids Can Press. Oh, okay, great. They deleted the post. Let me read it before they, fully get rid of it. Yeah, they actually deleted the post. That is so funny. Exclusive footage right here on the stream, everyone. Can we get a subscribe for that? Franklin the Turtle is a beloved Canadian icon who has inspired generations of children and stands for kindness, empathy, and inclusivity. We strongly condemn any denigrating, violent, or unauthorized use of Franklin's name or image which directly contradicts these values. Come on, dude. Just let us have some fun, right? And then you have, I don't know, can I find... Franklin learns about George Floyd's autopsy. Okay, it's getting to that point. Franklin joins ICE. Franklin court-martials a seditionist. Red-pilled Franklin. Franklin defends his neighborhood. This is a Kyle Rittenhouse meme. Franklin targets narco-terrorists. Yeah, it's been getting pretty out of control. Got surrounded in Stalingrad. Franklin, all your Franklins belong to us. Okay, yeah. Franklin explains Joe Biden's auto pen. So it basically got really political, and they had to release this statement like, guys, we don't condone none of this stuff. But it's pretty funny, man. Come on, let us have our fun. It even got released on Pump Fun. I hope this doesn't show my holdings. Franklin the Turtle is the top trending Pump Fun meme coin right now, and it is, oh my gosh, 5 million market cap. It just dropped to 4 million. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, should I buy this? Dude, I'll be buying the top. I'm not buying this. You're crazy. Imagine this just goes to 30 million market cap. Whatever. But that's what's been going on, okay? It's pretty funny, pretty wholesome. I like it. I'll laugh. All right. Vanguard. Huge reason as to why things have been rising yesterday. This guy. Not this guy. This bank or ETF firm, whatever it is. Fund, hedge fund manager, whatever. The first Hedera ETF has gone live on Vanguard. What is the ticker? Come on. Vanguard H-bar ETF. What's the ticker, please? Is it this one? We have a Canary Capital ETF for Hedera. Which is it? Come on. You're showing me the Hedera's normal price chart. Whatever. Apparently it's out though, so there you go. Big things with Vanguard. First of all, we talked about this one 2 days ago, that they were finally letting their clients buy Bitcoin and crypto ETFs starting the next day. Yeah, I think I covered this specific post. The last anti-Bitcoin giant is cracking. This is the moment TradFi stops resisting and starts participating. The wall of money just got a new door. And then this happened. They're opening a bigger door than BlackRock when it comes to investing into cryptocurrencies. BlackRock currently only offers Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, but Vanguard is coming in with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana right out of the gate. And we just saw Hedera there too. And they got a pretty large assets under management. They have $11 trillion assets under management, Vanguard, versus BlackRock that has $13 trillion. It's only $2 trillion difference, 11 trillion to 13. They are two giants. One expands crypto asset access, the other follows. Starting Tuesday, Vanguard will allow ETFs and mutual funds that primarily hold select cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Solana, to be eligible for trading on its platform. Good. There you go. That's what sparked this huge rise. Bitcoin jumped 6% because we had... The way people are seeing this is that this is a potential $11 trillion that can enter the crypto space. We just saw the crypto market cap go below 3 trillion on the bad day of Monday. And now the optimism has already sparked back up. That's all we needed, right? All right, cool. Bitcoin jumps 6% right around US Open on first day after Bitcoin ETF ban lifted. Coincidence? I think not. Also $1 billion in IBIT volume in the first 30 minutes of trading. We did discuss that IBIT, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, that was the main source of revenue for BlackRock, which means that the popularity for Bitcoin ETFs, it's there, and BlackRock is the biggest provider of it. I'm proud to say that I've contributed to that. Let's just put it that way. No, obviously not to the millions of dollars they generate in revenue every day from it, or what is it, every month from the fees. But yeah, I do hold IBIT. I knew those Vanguardians had a little degen in them. Even some of the most conservative investors like to add a little hot sauce to their portfolio. Nice. So that's good. Another one, Bank of America. They're just falling like dominoes. One of the largest banks in the US with nearly $2.9 trillion assets under management. Not as big as Vanguard with 11 trillion, but hey, that's still 2.9 trillion. They're telling their clients, you should allocate up to 4% of your portfolio into crypto. That's not small time financial advising. That's near magnet level capital being told crypto is okay. Hey, if 100% of their users actually follow this advice, 2.9 trillion, okay, I don't, that's billion, trillion, 4% of that. This is a $116 billion that could enter the market if everybody follows what they're saying. And I'm sure there's going to be people who put more than 4% of their assets under management into crypto. We're talking about crypto here, right? Yes, in crypto, their portfolio, right? And I'm sure there's going to be people who do not trust crypto at all and will not do anything. So it will balance itself out, I'm sure. But I don't think this is immediately going to enter, but it opens the possibility of that happening. When a behemoth like Bank of America gives the go-ahead for high net worth money to flow into crypto, it's not a ripple, it's a new tide rising. More allocators means deeper liquidity, means more institutional ballast, means less chance of freak swings, more structural stability. The crypto is fringe mindset just lost another wall. Buckle up, this could quietly reshape the demand behind the scenes. Let's hope so. Good stuff so far. American Bitcoin, company funded by Eric Trump, founded by Eric Trump, not funded. You got the point. They've increased their Bitcoin holdings, bringing its total to 4,367 Bitcoins. Strategic accumulation continues. Just don't hold more than 50% of your market cap in Bitcoin. Otherwise, you'll have a MicroStrategy situation. I wonder how much they do have. You're really not going to show me? ABTC? American Bitcoin? No? Really? Is this not a company? You're joking. Let me go to TradingView. I don't believe this. Because it's real. It's on the NASDAQ. Why can I not see it? Oh, what is this? Alright, whatever. American Bitcoin market cap. Capo, yes. 2.22 billion USD. If they have 4,367 Bitcoins, and each Bitcoin currently costs $93,856.60, that means they have $409 million. Yeah, they're safe, dude. It's less than a quarter. No, that's less than... Brother. 2 billion, 220 million... 18%? Yeah, you're fine, dude. They don't got to worry about getting delisted by the MSCI for potentially being a Bitcoin fund. No, they're a Bitcoin mining company, okay? And we had, Eric Trump flex the whole warehouse of Bitcoin mining that they have. So, dude, you're fine. Great, moving on. Bitcoin is on track for its biggest daily gain since May 2025. This happened yesterday. We were talking about when Bitcoin was breaking above 91,000 as short leveraged liquidations surged. In 60 minutes, we were able to liquidate $140 million worth of shorts compared to only 3 million of longs getting liquidated. How you got liquidated on long when this is happening? You must be next level. You know what? Forget it. Recent swings in crypto are entirely mechanical. I mean, yeah, typical. We've got a lot of leverage in the markets now. People don't learn their lessons. Nobody cares about October 10. We're just going to keep using leverage as if nothing happened. Is this factual, though? What is this daily gain that we got yesterday? Or I guess would have been day before. I don't know. What is this? 5%? 5 plus 2? 7%? I refuse to believe that. This is 4% candle. Or maybe it is. No, what is this? July. This is a 4% candle. Oh, I guess it actually is a 5% candle. Since May, they said, which would have been this. May 25, May 8? May 8? It doesn't say which day, but yeah, May 8, we had a rise of 6%. And yesterday, we had a rise of 5%. You know what? Sure. I guess. You win. That is indeed the biggest rise since May. Quantitative easing might be closer than anyone thinks, and the Fed just gave their first hint. They just injected $13.5 billion into the banking system through overnight repos, which is the second largest spike since COVID. We saw the same pattern in late 2019. I don't think I'm reading all of this, but repo spikes, funding stress in small banks, balance sheet pressure, Fed stepping in quietly, quantitative easing starting shortly after. I saw that after quantitative tightening ends, historically speaking, Bitcoin's price dropped a little bit more. Then they started quantitative easing, and then we had our good old rally. But that's subjective in my opinion. I don't know if I believe that. People blamed the 2020 pandemic for quantitative easing, but the liquidity stress began months before it. The repo market was already flashing the same signals we are seeing again right now. The timeline today looks very similar, ignoring, of course, COVID. If these repo strikes continue, the Fed may be forced to shift to some form of easing by early 2026. Yeah, that could be pretty good. Not the massive QE we saw in 2020, but still meaningful liquidity support. There's also a political angle this time. We're getting a new Fed chair, expected in mid-2026. Trump said that he would announce, I didn't show this news live, but he said that he would announce who the next Fed chair would be by January, I think he said. And I think we all know it's going to be Kevin Hassett. The incoming leadership is more market-friendly. Yeah, Kevin Hassett. The administration prefers easier monetary policy. Yeah, we want interest rates at 1%. Rate cuts and liquidity support align with that direction. We'll see for how long. Short-term, these spikes can create volatility, but for the next 3 to 6 months, this type of liquidity pressure usually leads to more easing, and crypto is always one of the first markets to react. Let's hope so. Will Bitcoin see an all-time high in 2026? Can I see that on a prediction market? Dude, okay, we're going to talk about poly markets soon, but I have a story about it. If this continues, next phase of liquidity expansion is getting closer, not farther. Yeah, okay. Liquidity coming 2026. No recessions. Ethereum Fusaka upgrade is happening. It happened. We'll go live today, as of today. Yeah, literally today. Today's upgrade could be the start of Ethereum's next supply crunch. That's what we were talking about here and why Ethereum was rising a little bit too hard. But hey, good nonetheless. People don't realize how much this changes Ethereum. I'm not reading all of it. I'm just reading the whole headlines because this is a really long post. But top 7 points. Number 1. Forces layer 2s to pay real fees to Ethereum. Number 2, Ethereum burn goes from mostly L1 only to L1 and all L2 activity. So anything that's built off Ethereum's ecosystem to try to improve it. After Fusaka, Yeah, that's good. Ethereum could flip back to deflation for the first time in years. That would help with the supply thing, especially when it comes to, you know, big companies like Bitmine, Tom Lee's company, buying a lot of Ethereum. They just bought some more, by the way. I don't remember the exact amount. I didn't save the post, but yeah, they're, unless I did. No, I didn't save the post. They said that they wanted to own, what was it, 5% of all of Ethereum supply? And then you're like, okay, but brother in Christ, what is 5% of infinity? You tell me. But hey, if we're getting deflation, I guess that's no longer an issue. Hopefully, who knows? Pure DAS makes L2 growth even faster, which increases burn even more. Good. Gas limit increases, which would allow for more activity, which would allow for more burning. Lower L2 fees, which would mean more usage and more burning for other ecosystems built off of Ethereum, right? And the upgrade finally aligns with Ethereum rollups. Ethereum becomes deflationary, basically. This is why analysts call Fusaka the real value capture upgrade. Ethereum is not just scaling, it's finally monetizing that scaling. Good. L2s on Ethereum, by the way, would be Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base. Coinbase. Good. Good to know. Trust Wallet, we have some news from it. Google Pay goes live on Trust Wallet for instant crypto buys. It's now live on Trust Wallet, giving users in 40 plus countries a quick way to fund their wallets. Is this real? Google Pay. Do I even have that? No, I don't. I don't trust Google with my credit card. So, I know that's stupid to say. Obviously, I don't really mean that, but yeah. Download and open Trust Wallet. You can tap Fund. You click on Google Pay. Oh, okay, I get it. You use your Trust Wallet, and you can buy crypto through Google Pay. Whatever amount of money you want to put. So that's how it works. It's not like you have to download Google Pay or whatever it is. You have to be a Trust Wallet user, which I don't trust Trust Wallet. No, I do. Trust Wallet's fine. Aren't they built with Binance? Congratulations to Aster Dex Trading giveaway. Yeah, they're definitely linked in some form with Binance. Alright, that's enough snooping. Another thing that's happening with Trust Wallet is prediction markets. Yes, we need more of these. Let's go. Dude, how many? I feel like that's going to be the new trend, is prediction markets. Before it was meme coins, then it was DEXs, and now it's just going to be prediction markets. Everybody wants to make their own prediction markets. Hey, maybe that's a good business idea. Should I do that? But it's not like they're making their own. No, they are making their own. What is Myriad Markets? It's another prediction market. Okay, great. So powered by that Trust Wallet, you can now do prediction markets. You could trade sports, crypto, politics, and more, all in one place, and self-custodial. I guess that's the only good benefit, is that you have your wallet linked to it. It's live with Myriad Markets, and they're saying that Polymarket and Kalshi is coming soon. All right. I think we know what this is. All right, let's move on. Now back to Polymarket here. They're back against all odds. I love saying that. Polymarket's US app is now being rolled out to those on the wait list. We're launching with sports, followed by markets on everything. So, yeah, I was right in my assumption a couple of streams ago with, isn't Polymarket banned in the US? And yeah, it was. It was banned in the US. But now it's back, officially. Or kind of. It's starting to be back. You can now download Polymarket to check a spot on the wait list. Invites are being sent out on a rolling basis, and Android coming soon. Well, it sucks to be an Android user now. That's in the US only, though. Oh, Bitcoin just broke 94,000. Why are you lying to me, phone? We kind of did. Our high with this candle, 94,020. Sure. We're pretty close to it. 93,950. It's good. Back to Polymarket. So this is what I wanted to talk about too. And I was confused. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's also banned in Canada. I downloaded it. It let me download it on the Google Play Store. But when I open it, it just says, it just gives me the election results, and that is it. Trump won. And who else is in the admin? RFK Jr., Doug Burgum, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, David Sachs, and all these other people. And then it doesn't let you bet on anything. It just shows those things. No, none of these buttons are clickable. Oh, I just clicked on a button. Oh, it just took me to the website. Okay, I don't need that. Whatever. It does nothing, okay? It's not available in Canada, but in the US seems like it's starting to roll out soon. So good for you. Congrats, I guess. Mr. Beast seems like he's actually going through with it. He will launch his financial services platform. I don't think we know when, but there we go. Our place for Penguin to be listed. What was I going to talk about? Oh, Ukraine and Canada. I forgot to mention this. I guess I will go ahead and mention it. That is not it. This is it. Canada is pledging another $235 million in funding for Ukraine. Let's go. And that's what I wanted to talk about when I was talking about the whole corruption thing and that Zelensky might run away. Yeah, that's pretty cool. No, it's not cool. Dude, we're wasting money on Ukraine. Please just end the war. Okay, that's all. So what else is new? That's all the news I had. We're expecting PCE Friday. Very, very important. And then next week, Wednesday, FOMC meeting, Fed interest rate decision. We are expecting to cut rates 25 basis points. Flashbang morning, I will go ahead and review the odds. Should still be 80 plus. Right? We've been rising. And crypto prices. 89%. Okay, we're almost at 90. That's actually really good. Really, really good. I like it. What else? Yeah, I honestly think that is it. What else is rising like crazy? Let's see. Or dropping like crazy. I don't think anything's dropping too crazy today. At least none of the top cryptocurrencies. Humanity Protocol, if you care. Ethereum overbought. Binance overbought. Bitcoin Cash. Chainlink, Aave overbought. Chainlink's one of the biggest gainers is what it seems like. In terms of momentum. Percentages wise, I think other coins beat it. BitTensor's up like 8%. But yeah, well, not enough though. Yep. Nothing more but to wait, in my opinion. Alright. Yeah, that is it for today. I'm stalling for time. I think that's all. My personal updates. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still doing the thing with applying for work. Because like I said, I'm at a temporary position. Which should end either this week or next week. I am getting interview notices. Some of them are very conflicting with scheduling. So I'm going to have to try to find a way to work around those. I got a bank job offer. Oh, it's an interview for future opportunities. That's what it is. It's not even like anything confirmed. And it's part-time. Dude, I don't want to do part-time. I want to do full-time. Or do I? I don't know. Maybe part-time would be fine. Dealing with people. And then part-time. Hey, it should give me some good experience, at least. Hey, I'm working at a bank, dude. That'll be fine. Yeah, I'd like to put my terrible financial advice skills to the practice. For legal reasons, that's a joke. I don't... Just in case my employers watch this or something. What if they do research on you? Because I have my name out there. My name is out there. This channel is literally named after me. You just look up, who is this guy? Matthew Guillen. And they'll see this stream and they'll see me talking like this. You're like, ugh, we don't want to hire this guy. After all the facts he spoke for the past hour, this thing that he just said, that's unacceptable. We're not going to hire him. Who knows, man? We'll see. We'll see what happens. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Tomorrow, yeah, normal day. We'll be streaming. We'll see what big news comes out. I don't recall if anything important will be happening. I'm talking like from Trump or geopolitically. I don't think anything important is happening. But yeah, we usually find stuff to talk about either way, so should be a good one. Make sure you are subscribed for that. And I'll see you tomorrow then. All right. Have a great rest of your